Today I have an awful experience, my worst ever, flying with Qatar Airways, which is in fact the world's best airline and also my favourite airline up until now. I've now arrived at Perth International Airport where the time is approximately 8 PM, and I headed up to the viewing platform where we could see a wide variety of unique aircraft. The viewing platform was the busiest I'd ever seen it, and I'm now in the terminal area. The terminal was busy with two A380s departing, and there was also this $90 neck rest. Unfortunately, we were held for around 20 minutes in the jet bridge until we were finally able to board our Qatar Airways Airbus A380, taking us to Doha on this 10.5-hour flight. This aircraft features 517 seats, 461 of which are economy seats. Most economy seats on the lower deck are configured in a 343 configuration, with the upper deck being configured in a 242 configuration. The headrests on board the older Qatar Airways A380s can only be adjusted two ways, up and down, compared to the newer A380s which can be adjusted sideways and also horizontally. When seated on the upper deck, you get a lovely walkthrough of the empty lower deck, and then whenever deboarding the aircraft, you get a walk through the business class section. And here we are at our seat 25A, which I would say is the best economy seat on the aircraft. Well, maybe the best positioned economy seat, but definitely the worst seat on the aircraft. Whilst not unlimited, the legroom is very generous, with more than enough space being provided for you to get out of your seat without disturbing the people next to you. The seat is a fair bit narrower though, with the IFE and tray table being located in the armrest. There's also this compartment on the side, which says no stowage but can be opened, which provides extra room for your shoulders and arms. This is due to the A380's curvature on the upper deck, with the 242 configuration being instilled due to this reason. This is when the trouble started, and I realised that whenever I moved even an inch in my seat, the seat would squeak very loudly. My seat would not lock into position properly and would sway back and forth. I informed cabin crew of this, and the head attendant eventually came round. She stated there were no other extra legroom seats available on board this aircraft, and instead that she can give us some earplugs to try to help us deal with the noise. Other passengers became annoyed, and someone who did not see this encounter asked if I raised the issue with crew. I've developed back issues as a result of being in a car crash not too long ago, and have always had back issues due to my height. This made it particularly difficult to try to stay still in my seat, as I normally move about in order to give my back some relief. This is the primary reason for me booking Qatar Airways and booking their extra legroom seat. Last year I contacted Qatar Airways customer service due to a variety of issues on my two A380 flights. On the first flight I was denied my booked emergency exit seat that I specifically paid for whilst flying due to me being underage. Nonetheless, it was actually a Qatar Airways representative who booked this seat for me. My seat was then squeaky, a similar issue to this, and on the return A380 flight, there was flooding coming from the galley that spread all the way a few rows back, and as I was sitting at the bulkhead seat, of course my seat had the most flooding and my mum's shoes got ruined. Qatar Airways refused to compensate me for my extra purchase seat and only offered me a few points. It was a real shame to have yet another terrible experience with Qatar Airways, my favourite airline. I understand that sometimes things go wrong, but when they do, companies should really compensate people for all inconveniences they faced, especially when they're denied a seat they paid extra for. I love Qatar Airways so much, which is why I was wearing burgundy in this video, which is why so many things in my house is burgundy, which is why my name is Qatari2007, my YouTube tag, and it really made me upset to have such a terrible experience. Here you can see why I hate the upper deck to a degree. The lavatory, because of the curvature of the aircraft, is very small height-wise, so I was unable to actually go to the toilet properly because I was not able to fully fit in that part of the aircraft, that little nook. Wi-Fi yet again did not work on this aircraft. Regardless, all the crew were absolutely wonderful on this flight, as they always are on board my Qatar Airways flights. Here we are, descending into Doha after quite a long and uncomfortable sleepless flight. Welcome to the beautiful city of Doha, where we have approximately 3.5 hours at the airport before boarding our A350 flight, my first Qatar A350 flight, and also my first ever flight in business class, something which is very exciting. There was a white 777, a former Cathay Pacific 777, along with a couple of Oman Air aircraft and a Qatar Airways A330, a rare sighting nowadays. Well, that's finally the end of this rather unpleasant flight, and with it, the end of this trip report. Thank you so very much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share if you haven't already, and if you wish to do so. And if you want to see my first Qatar Airways A350 flight, and also first ever flight in business class. Thank you so very much once again. Be sure to stay safe and have a fantastic day. See you in a future video, hopefully.